Let's analyze some of these comments that have been made by Don. All right. Number one. Okay, there's no such thing as a 7-star match. Okay, there's a 5-star system.
God,
that was all. That's all. If you want to get into the all the dirt sheet jargon about the star ratings and everything, this is what I find interesting about what happened to Don this year. Is that his whole story? I completely not one person believes it. But what happened is how this pool of this subculture that Meltzer has created, that Cyrus kind of came from outside the bubble and climbed in there and say, hey, what's going to get me over with the dirt sheet guys? Oh, I'll announce Japanese wrestling. Then everybody will think, oh, I'm great, right? So he goes and does that. And
I think that already been established before he went to Japan. But
I'm just saying the smart marks. If anything that associated with Japan automatically by the dirt sheet.
Actually, I'll just correct you. I didn't even know what New Japan was or who wrestled there. I received a call and they begged me to come and try to announce. So let's just be clear. It wasn't something where I'll go to Japan. New Japan wasn't cool until I started calling it. So that's what made it cool.
Well, the guys didn't speak English. And so you started calling. So it's very difficult to watch New Japan wrestling, listen to Japanese announcers.
Right, which is why I told the top guys what you need to do. Because you don't speak English, is you need to start working something that I've come up with called strong style. And you need to start stiffing each other and hitting each other really hard, and it'll get over really strong. I came up with strong style.
Well, that figures, because that's the dumbest thing I think I've ever heard is strong style. Like what's weak style, Let's continue on this stuff.
Your style.
So what I find interesting is what happened is this parasite, kind of like a mutation within the wrestling bubble that created this branch of the fans kind of developed this parasitic AEW fan base, okay? And Meltzer feeds this, and the Dirt Sheet guys feed this fan base. What happened is how quickly they are to turn on their own, okay? Because when Don was doing New Japan Wrestling and the New Japan AEW, that fan base is the same, as he was great. But now all of a sudden, Don's not an AEW wrestling anymore. He's in Impact Wrestling. He still calls the matches and everything, but now Excalibur is ranked second best announcer, and Don's ranked 9th by those same fans that created him. And I just think it's interesting how this fan base eats their own and just dismiss Don Callis, toss him aside like yesterday's trash. Just by leaving that AEW New Japan culture, you've gone to Impact, and now you're persona non grata in that fan base. What do you think about that?
Well, I wasn't supposed to divulge this, but the real tally for Announcer of the Year was 14,754 votes for me and 600 and something for Kevin Kelly. But again, as we've said, and you choose to hear what you choose to hear, is I pulled myself out of that discussion.
Let me tell you what happened.
It's very simple.
This is what Dave told me. I go, bro, fuck all that. Just let him win Announcer of the Year. He deserves it. And he was like, bro, it almost looks like, when they have a vote in a dictatorship like Venezuela or some shit like that, and it's always 9 million votes to 15, and you're like, wait a minute, who voted here? Yeah, so that's what it kind of looked like. It almost looked like, you know what I'm saying? It was so ridiculous. Yeah. Amount that
it's like a Vladimir Putin election,
Right.
Oh, no. It was like election night of 2016 when the Trump wins were just coming to flashing all over the place and everything, and that's it was like that, right?
It was very lopsided.
My favorite thing about that, and I'll never forget this, is did you see the look on the faces of all the Democrat supporters when they saw Trump was winning that year? It looked like they wanted to fucking faint. But anyways, I just want to congratulate you for getting Booker of the Year, Announcer of the Year. This is how far he went. They actually had you as most overrated, Disco, and Don went in and said, "Bro, that's not cool."
What happened to the best heel category? Did they take that category out?
Yeah, I don't think there was one. Was there?
No. How can you have a Wrestling Observer Wars and not have the best heel? Where in my short work I did in Impact Wrestling, I was head and shoulders the best heel in the business in 2019, and that even comes from Don Callis' mouth. What happened to that category?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you, and that you just proved my point. You're another guy who's under the Don Callis success tree, because who wrote those segments? Who booked you on the show? who told you what to say and how to say it? That was me. But
Jimmy
I don't need to get all. I don't need to get all.
I'm giving Jimmy Jacobs all the credit he deserves for that.